Hey guys, it's Rachel from Hope Corner Farm. By day I'm a home ec teacher who teaches hundreds of students how to crochet, quilt, sew, and cook. And today I'm going to teach you how to complete the cluster stitch in crochet. Sometimes this stitch is called the double cluster stitch. Sometimes it's called the double crochet cluster stitch. It really just kind of depends on who you are reading your pattern from on what they call it. The one I'm going to teach you today could also be called the double crochet 3 together stitch as well, because that's basically what we're doing, is crocheting 3 double crochets together. Any way you cut it, if you're ready to learn the cluster stitch, let's grab a hook and some yarn and we'll get crocheting. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos, and don't forget to give me some feedback on this video. Give me a like or a comment, let me know what I did well or things that I could improve upon. So for the cluster stitch, you need something to crochet into. So I've got some foundation single crochets here that I'm going to crochet into. Now if you want to learn how to foundation single crochet in slower, more detailed movements, I'll include a link to a video below that takes that a lot slower. So for the cluster stitch, anytime I start a new row, I like to chain 2. I chain 2 with any double crochet version of a stitch that I use. Some people chain 3, do whatever works for you, but I like the way that a chain 2 looks. So I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to turn. Now I usually like to put a regular double crochet right at the edge just because I feel like it gives a nice and straighter edge. Now we're ready to start into our cluster stitch. Now I like these to pop a little bit, kind of like I did here in my example. And so what I did is I put a chain 1 in between each of these cluster stitches. You could put them right next to each other. Each cluster stitch honestly counts as one stitch. So you can put it in every stitch across. They would just be right on top of each other and you wouldn't see the details as much. Total personal preference, but I like to put a chain 1 in between them just so those stitches pop and show a little bit better. Again, total personal preference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to skip this stitch and I'm going to go into the next one. So how do we actually cluster stitch? So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch, I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to pull through the stitch. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That completes one of my double crochets, or at least part of a double crochet that double crochets together for this. So I'm going to yarn over, go back into the same stitch. I'm going to yarn over, pull through the same stitch. Now I've got 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops. That completes a second partial double crochet stitch. I'm left with 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to go back into the exact same stitch. I'm going to yarn over, pull through that stitch. Now I've got 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops. That leaves me with 4 loops on my hook, and I have my 3 partial double crochets here. You can see them, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to finish my cluster stitch by yarning over and pulling through all 4 loops on the hook, and that completes one cluster stitch. So you can see what that looks like there. And again, it counts as only one stitch because all of those double crochet parts are combined into one stitch, into one cluster stitch. Now again, because I like mine to pop a little bit, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to skip this next stitch. I'll work into the next one and I'll show you this move again. So yarn over, insert into the space, yarn over, pull through the space. Now there's 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That leaves 2 loops on my hook. Yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through the same stitch. Now I've got 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops. Now I'm left with 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, go back into the exact same space, yarn over, pull through that space. Now I've got 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now I've got 4 loops left on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through all 4 loops to complete the stitch. And then again, because I like the space between them, I chain 1 and skip. We'll do this one more time and then I'll get to the end of the row here so I can show you how I would move on to a next row and complete these if I did the chain 1 stitch in between them. So I'll show you here when I get to the next row. So let's quickly finish. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Again, I like to chain 1. I'm going to skip that, and then I'll place a regular double crochet in this last stitch here. So that completes 1 row of my cluster stitches. Again, that can be done a couple of different ways. The moves to create the cluster stitch are what are important. The rest of it is basically details on what you want your project to look like here. So I like the space in between mine, so that's why I put a chain 1. Now, if I were to go and do a second row of this, I would start by chaining 2 again, and then I would turn. Now, I would place a cluster stitch right in this first gap here. So I would yarn over, insert right into that gap, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert back into the gap, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the gap, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 4, and then I would chain 1. I would skip over top of this stitch. So if you look at them from the top, it looks just like any other crochet stitch. Each V counting as 1 stitch. I'm going to skip over this one. I'm going to work into this gap. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 4. And I would just continue as far as, and as many as my project called for. And that's the cluster stitch in crochet. Again, sometimes it's called the double crochet 3 together, because again, you have 3 partial double crochets here that are combined into 1 stitch. Again, this entire thing right here counts as 1 stitch on the top when you get there. And that's the double crochet 3 together, or the cluster stitch. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos. And I hope you guys have a blessed day.